Hello, I'm David Waumsley, and this is an intro to what I hope will be a series of videos which I'm calling Digital Freedoms. It's different to the content I normally make for YouTube, so apologies if you came here expecting a how-to on WordPress. These are going to be more like how to live more freely by providing client website services and digital marketing. It's been about 8 years since my wife and I quit our jobs in the UK and officially set up our website building business. But more significantly, since we adopted a digital nomad type lifestyle. And it was a really big, scary thing for us, but it's turned out to be the happiest and perhaps healthiest time of our lives. So I can't imagine that we're going to change our lifestyles again. And it has provided us with a lot of experience and knowledge through this journey, which I think will make quite some useful content for anybody who's wanting to do a similar thing, or it might just be helpful to share these experiences with other people who are on a similar journey to us. But I didn't want to make this content entirely for those who wanted to travel or live the other side of the world. I want it to link in with my other content on WordPress and the issues I touch on about providing client website services. So we're very much about freedom in life and just enjoying time out, but we still want to provide this client-based service which can be a bit of a time zap. So we've worked out a few ways which we think will just help us to control that but still do the work we love. So I want to be able to talk about that, and hopefully that will be linked in with this and will be of value to other people who are not so much interested in the travel. If you do find yourself liking this video, then please subscribe to the channel and click on the notification bell. And in fact, any feedback that you can give me will be really handy to me, because I'm not the most natural presenter. I tend to trip over my words, and to do these videos I'm going to have to try and do these live and overcome my fears a little bit. So I just want to know whether there is some need for this content from me, so I can put the effort in if I need to or not, should it not be of any use. Anyway, overall, it seems to make a lot of sense to talk about our lifestyle in context with our business model, because I think the two are almost inseparable. And I do find that mostly I'm almost in diametric opposition to everybody who is providing some content on running a digital agency. And that's not really an issue to me. I think it's just a case of priorities. We're very much about the freedom and having time, where not so much as most people are concentrating on growing an agency. We're not so much about getting higher paying clients, because often that will go with some responsibilities that we don't want. Of course, we want to be able to charge more for our work, of course, like anybody else, but we still want to make sure that we have some control over that. And I think, there's room for any type of business anyway. There is such a diversity of people who need help with their websites and general digital marketing that there is plenty of room. And in fact, I think there's probably a bit of a gap, because everybody is now, if you like, moving towards trying to get the high paying client, because they feel that is the best way that they can keep their business running. Well, I think there are some other ways. Anyway, I'm not going to go on too much in this video, as it's supposed to be an introduction. I will just say something a little bit on digital nomads and that lifestyle. I'm sure most people know the concept. There is a great book out there, a very popular book called The 4-Hour Work Week by Tim Ferriss. I was actually aware of this lifestyle before that book was published. Back in 2006, I did some traveling and I bumped into some people who were building websites just as I was starting to learn to build them myself for clients abroad, and they were in places like Thailand, and in fact that's where we spend most of our time in Asia. We do travel around a lot, but to have a lower cost of living but still earn something where the skills are quite highly valued globally means that you really get more time for yourself, or you could potentially make more profit, if you like, by reducing your living costs but still charging the same. So that's basically the concept. For me, making this move, though, it was a particularly scary thing because I'm now in my mid-50s, but at that time I was, soon approaching 50. And I had a great civil service job, one which I actually liked a lot, and I was respected in, and it came with a reasonable salary, and it had a great pension, which I'd lose if I left it. But the best thing about it is that I worked from home and I managed a remote team anyway. So I had a fair bit of flexibility over how I worked, the times that I worked, and even to a certain degree where I could base myself in the UK doing it. So it was an awful lot to give up. But the reason I did it is because I'd been doing it for 15 years. I didn't see a route that I would have liked if I would have gone for promotion. And it just felt like you start to repeat yourself. So this is why I was attracted to making this change. And you can imagine why it was so scary. And not particularly as we didn't really have any proper business. I'd been building some websites and got some experience, but I didn't have a business and didn't really have anything that was going to make money before I made this sudden change to quit the job and chance it. And it's all worked out well. And it's really quite interesting because I was so fearful for such a long time while thinking about this that I couldn't possibly get a job like I had, and how would I provide for my future? And those fears have all evaporated over time. The digital journey itself has taken care of much of that because we can adjust our costs all the time, so we don't need to worry about too much. We only needed little savings. And it's very interesting how it's worked out for me, because even though we've expected to dip into our savings because we've done some kind of 5-star travel trips and taken family members with us, we expected that we would need to dip into our savings and pick up the work later. But it's never happened. Each year, although it's not a great deal and I'm earning less on average, I'm working much, much less. I have a more luxurious lifestyle. And we're actually putting away a little bit of savings each year, so we feel more secure. But also what I've learned through providing these client services is how more skilled I am and could possibly find other multiple income streams as well. So I feel more confident now about my future than perhaps I even did when I was in my work, when I knew everything was more secure. I feel there's a world of opportunities have opened up through that process. So it's been a really good journey for me. What I'm going to talk about, I think, in the next video is just why I think building websites or providing these client services is perhaps a good way for anyone who wants to be a digital nomad. And in fact, controversially, I'm going to say, even if you've never done any of this before, I think it's still a good starting point, because there are lots of different incomes you can earn and travel around the world if you've got those skills. But I believe if you have these kind of website building services as your core skills, there's so many other things that you can do. So I'm going to talk about this more in the next video. I hope this was useful. It was just an introduction. Thank you so much for your time for this. And if you did like it, then please give me a thumbs up, because it gives me some indication of whether this is going to be useful to anyone. And I hope to see you in another video. Hope you have a great day. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.